Yes, good afternoon, good day, my friends and family. Thanks again. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Neville Philpotts, and this is the West Best Media. Today, we're going to break down a few things that's happening in Africa. And we're going to talk about a betrayal. Yes, and that betrayal is something that's happening in Africa. Here, we're going to cut through the fog of war and Western spin. This is a pan African lens on the global hypocrites. Today, we talk about the question, why did Ukraine betray the very people who once stood with it? Yes, let's get into it. But again, before we get into it, let's talk about you being subscribing, liking, and sharing to spread this channel so we can reach more people and spread the word. Like many, I stood with Ukraine at the start of the war. A small country resisting a superpower, calling for its sovereignty. It felt familiar to every African. Small country, large country in Africa could relate. Who seems their nation pushed around. But that sympathy ended today. Historically, it seems the sympathy was for the underdog. Sheer colonial experience. Russia seems as the agitator. But here's where Ukraine and its hypocrisy stopped. Ukraine is alleged to train and arm Tigray rebel in northern Mali. Drones, it supplies drones to the rebel. They kill Malian soldiers and Wagner mercenaries. No UN mandate, no African Union approval, just raw interference. How do you cry for your sovereignty while you're destroying ours? That's the question to ask Ukraine. How can they destroy others' sovereignty, yet they were asking for sovereignty? How? Geopolitical. It's all about Russia. Ukraine's real goal is to hurt Russia via the Wagner Group. Mali is just a proxy for the battleground. Africa, once again, being used like a chessboard. But the question I have, what if Mali was to fight back? What if Mali sent 100 soldiers to fight for the Russians in Ukraine, in Domsky? Would Ukraine tolerate this? Would the West call Mali a terrorist state? Let's flip the script. That this narrative exposed the double standard of the Western world. But Africa is awakened, and Africa is waking up. We no longer blindly support causes that ignore our or betrayed us, our own interests. If Ukraine wants Africa support, it must respect Africa sovereignty. And this goes to the wider Western countries. For too long, Africa has been used as its playground, its resource um, manipulations, and its people being pushed around and privatized. Africa being in poverty and being colonized and recolonized and dehumanized for centuries. It's time for Africa to rise up. And Ukraine lost my support when it went into tech, when it went into Mali and start lending hand to the terrorists, the separatists in Mali. No more. We, as Black people around the world, has to start supporting each other, help each other to build. The West don't care. They looked at us as subhuman. They don't think we're humans. They think they'll come to us, get our gold, get our uranium, get our cobalt, get all the resources they need, and just leave us. Don't pay for it. And then they turn around and say, look at them. They can't survive. They can't develop. But yet, they're the very same company and country that's holding us back. My brothers and sisters, I want to ask you, please subscribe, please share, and please leave a comment. Let me know what you think and help me to grow this channel. Because, this war in Ukraine been going on for about 2 years. And we all see how the West is pushing this war. And I'm saying, what right does Ukraine have to help train and weaponize these separatists, jihadists in Mali? This needs to stop. I can say this. I might go out on a limb with this. Now I can see how and why Donald Trump treats the Ukraine Prime Minister the way he did. Because the Ukraine Prime Minister is a puppet of the West, including the United States. I'm not saying I'm for Donald Trump, but sometimes fairness is fairness. One thing I can say about Donald Trump, he has opened the eyes of the African people and African leaders. He's letting them know in no uncertain terms. He don't care. He don't give a shit about you. He said it before that African countries are shithole countries. Now we have to stand up and fight and use our mineral and resources to develop our country and stop selling off these minerals at cheap price. These so-called African leaders who are supporting the West, we need to get rid of them. We need 54 Traore in Africa. I'll say maybe 55. One who's going to be the leader of Africa, and the others would be the leaders of the separate states, but report to that one president. For too long, our resource has helped to build other countries while we stay in the dark or beg for help when we have everything we need. When Africa was created as the civilization of the mankind, Africa was given everything it needed to survive. Everything it needed. We need to come together as one and help Africa to rise. My brothers and sisters, that's it for now. But before I go, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.